Welcome to the channel. This is Nick, aka Old Laddie, where we cover all things mental health awareness and ways to find new outlets for stress with music and movies and hobbies and exercise and all kinds of different things. In this particular episode, we're going to cover things for being a distant parent, being a blended family, and for all you sports fans, we're going to talk about our team, the Tennessee Titans, and their draft. Welcome my beautiful fiance to the show, uh, Tiffany. There she is.
Hello.
She's made it.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
So, are you excited about this show, Tiff?
Mm-hmm.
What?
I am.
You're mostly excited about the Titans part, aren't you?
Yes.
I could tell by your how
Hold
you're
on, let me fix my.
so excited about saying that.
Now I've got my mic working. Is that better?
Yeah, it's way better. I can. You're like
Okay.
really. Your voice is blasting. But so we're gonna start with talking about being a distant parent because you know our kids are getting older. We have uh,
Mm-hmm.
one in college and we have one in the Navy. Of course, he's been a distant from us for a long time. We
Mm-hmm.
have another daughter who's younger, but she's in a different part of the country from us. And
Mm-hmm.
then so we have some other ones that are getting older. They're getting close to starting to.
Oh, they remind us every day.
Yeah, they do. They remind us I'm this age and I should be doing whatever I want to do. Uh,
It was funny last night. Alyssa and her friend had called. Um, I got to tell this really quick. I forgot to tell you this morning.
oh,
Um, so her friend Haley had called, and they're kind of being what's the word I want to use? Sneaky and trying to plan some things out, thinking that we're so old we don't know.
mhm.
Um, and she had made the comment. She said, "I don't mean this rudely, but you are older. So, what do you think my grandmother would like for flowers?" And I was like, "Wow, wow."
Being that you're older, I guess her grandma would like a
What kind
wreath
of
or something,
flowers she would like? Yeah, I was like,
a holly bush or something.
I know, right?
I mean, you would like a what's old people flowers? I don't even know.
Marigolds, maybe. I don't know.
Marigolds,
Yeah,
something. Her,
I don't know.
her grandma would like
I
a
was like, that's
fern or something.
yeah. I said that's a little bit like two generations above me there, honey.
That's funny. But yeah, I mean, well, I'm just saying that the point is like they're getting to the close to moving out, moving on, and so like, and then like we already have a couple that are we're distant from anyway, and so the stresses of trying to maintain being in their lives, like whenever they have their own schedule,
Hmm.
and you try to be there as best you can, and they have stuff going on, and we have stuff going on, and you try to be there the best you can, but it's difficult, as like uh, everybody moves around and has stuff going on. It's tough, because even the little one, even our youngest one, she'll have stuff going on, or either she'll be in something, or she'll be going to uh, on a vacation, or she'll be seeing grandparents, and like and not no one wants her to be able to stop doing what she's doing because we're distant from her.
Right.
It's just hard to sometimes be in their lives because as much as you want to, because
Well, there's just so many moving parts.
yeah,
Speaking
that's what
about
I'm saying.
that, like our oldest one's in the military, going through some things. He's reached out a couple times to talk to us because once you get older, you let me rephrase this. As you're a teen, you think everything, you know everything, and you learn real quick when you get in the real world. Mom, dad, stepmom, stepdad, whatever, maybe don't wasn't so wrong. But they're learning and growing, and exactly what you said. We have, you know, thank goodness they're all kind of on the East Coast or down in the Gulf area. But who's to say where they're going to be in the next couple of years? And we've got two about to graduate next year. Um, who knows where they're going to wind up? And then, of course, like you said, our younger ones, like. it's hard to kind of get everybody together. Um, so as a parent, it's, excuse me, um, the biggest thing is understanding that, whether it's 5 minutes or 5 hours, cherish those few minutes, no matter what it is, because there are a lot of moving parts. We deal with that, on holidays. We've got, we're a blended family. We've said that a couple times. So, like, we've got two sides for your family. We've got, well, about four sides for your family. Not counting the kids have their mom's side and all of that. And then we have my side, and then we have my kid's side. So it's like, trying to get all of that done, it kind of takes the joy out of it because it's so much moving and just,
Yeah, it's a lot of, and I don't want to say I've said it that way before, but it's a lot of, I don't want to say pacifying. I've used that before, but
right,
it is trying to uh, get to a lot of people's stuff, and it's a short amount of time you have to do it in, and it's like
right.
it is. I
Like,
mean,
we're
but
doing the best we can. So, like, we're
like, we
trying to
try to
make
do
sure
the
we
best
get
we
everybody.
can. It's a short amount of time that you have to do a lot of stuff, and like we have a lot of places to be in a short amount of time to do it in, and
Mhm.
it's difficult, you know,
Yes. Yeah.
because like we have I have two different sides, and the two different sides also have usually two or three different things they want to do, and then you have a thing or two, and then like and then
Then
your
you add the
exes have
kids
a
stuff.
thing that has another thing they do traditionally, so
Right.
it's
It's, well,
a
I guess,
lot of going.
right. And like the hardest thing is we hadn't been able to set up our own traditions. Well, this past year we finally have kind of started our own traditions. But our biggest thing is we tell our kids, hey, it don't just have to be the holidays. If you can't make it, okay. When you can, that's great. But the door's always open, kind of thing.
Yeah,
And I think as being like a blended family, like you're saying, and like, I know we kind of just like jumped right in this
yeah,
topic,
we kind
but
of jumped into the blended family
um,
from the distance.
being the blended family and having kids all over in different states and different um, stages of life, I guess you should say. Um, it is hard, but at the end of the day, just communicating, whether it's a text or a phone call, or it is face to face, um, instead of, being, oh, you didn't stay this long, or, whatever the circumstance may be. Um, we have learned that, we've got to meet our kids. It's kind of like in my profession. I know this is like a mental health side of the story of a channel or whatever. So, like,
Right.
I have to meet my clients where they are. Same thing with our kids. Now, granted, our kids can give some too, but right now we're having to meet them at the stage that they're at and help them, and that may be that way for, that may be how it always is. I don't know, but we're able to do that. When
Like,
we started out, like when we started out, it's hard to get started in life.
well, I have a, I mean, this is just me.
Hmm.
I have a theory that, and I'm not saying that kids should never ever try to make it a little easier on their parents at some point,
Right.
but I think that like if if you're putting your kids through like a hard time just to appease your parents, and I'm not trying to say that this is ever happening in my situation or anybody's situation. I'm just saying my the way I see it is like a parent should, as long as they're not physically disabled or like bedridden or something like that,
Right.
they should also be willing to not put their kids out in order to just say, well, a kid should come to my house because they're the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. And I agree with that. I mean, as we've gotten older, it should be more, I'm not going to say 50-50 because nothing in life is 50-50, but,
right,
you know, especially, I'm just going to use us for example, and I'm not trying to step on toes, and I know this might be stepping on some toes, but, um, for us, for instance, we have three that are still living at home, that are still in school, still in extracurriculars, still in who knows what they're not in. I guess that's the better question instead of what they are actually in. Um, So we're constantly on the go. So I'm constantly, granted, you work seconds. I don't. My job's a little bit more flexible. Um, so, constantly running kids or picking other kids up or friends over, or they're at friends, or they've got ROTC, or they got football, or they got XYZ going on. So it does make it hard to just be like, okay, let's stop, drop everything and go, whether it's a mile down the road or 60 miles down the road or 100, whatever it is. It does make it hard. And I think sometimes it's just understanding that, you as parents are not the only one that's got things going on. And that's something, you know, we've talked about because we've got things going on too, on top of our kids and what they've got going on. But at the end of the day, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say is parents make that sacrifice sometimes and be like, and especially at this stage, like I'm saying, like when they're a little older, it's more, a little bit more 50-50, or should be, I guess. Um, but it's hard when you work full time and got as many kids as we do, and you're here, there, everywhere kind of thing.
Yeah, it's. I mean, and like, I understand that whenever you get to a certain age or a certain position in your adulthood, that like you kind of resort back to like not being able to travel.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand it then, but if you're able to do it, it
Right.
should be a little bit more, you know, 50-50.
Right.
Like if you get to a certain age where you can't really travel, I get
Right.
that.
Right.
But sometimes some people
Right.
assume that like it should just be on the younger party just because
Right.
they're younger or something. I
Or
don't
they
know.
assume that, well, we've all got things going on, you just make it work, but not everybody's schedule aligns. I
Yeah,
wish
I know.
it did.
Yeah,
But it
that's
don't work. It don't work that way. Like, we try to hang out with friends sometimes, and I mean, our schedules don't even align. So like, it takes more than one side trying to do.
well, me
And
and your
also
schedule
understanding,
doesn't even align half the most of the time. So
most of the time, my schedule is never what's on paper. That goes
yeah,
back to the journaling and the agenda thing. So,
yeah,
for instance, this morning it was like totally different, and now it's kind of changed. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean that kind of goes over the blended family as far as like the distant parent. I mean, the only thing that I can really add to, I guess, that is just trying. You just got to keep trying. I
Mhm.
mean, as far as like reaching out, and you got to be flexible and just
Right.
if they got like for when they're younger, like
Hmm.
you got to just keep trying and understand. Like I know for our younger one, I keep trying to reach out, and I always try to reach out for the older one when he was younger.
Hmm.
And then there's times that it's hard because you're not really getting much of a relationship going there. But you have to keep trying and keep.
There's Sorry. There's
Oh
going to be times that there's going to be frustration because, just like we said, things aren't aligning. They may be busy.
yeah,
Our youngest one gets to go on a lot of vacations, or what we call vacations, a lot of, holidays or whatever. And that's awesome. And we love that she gets to do all that. But, it does take away from us being able to spend time, and talk and all that. But, you know, it's just like you said, it's just constantly reaching out, or constantly
yeah.
putting forth that foot and that effort. And same thing with our oldest one,
It's just
like you said.
it's also being understanding that like
Right.
that they got a life
Understood.
and you they're not gonna wait for your call.
Right.
And like you have to be understanding that like there's going to be more time and you have to be flexible. I think it's the big thing because I remember like I used to have a not I would get mad. I would get you know
Upset.
yeah, it would hurt my feelings more that I didn't get to talk to him when I was supposed to because something would come up and I would be like, well, when am I supposed to talk to him? Because
Right.
I'm trying to set up a relationship with him, but I would just it would hurt my feelings or whatever. But
Right.
you just have to know that when you get to talk to him, you just have to make it the best conversation you possibly
Right.
can.
Well,
And
and just like you said, it's being understanding because, you know, we have a lot, and I'm not going to get into detail. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of this, that, and everything. So like, even two of the kids that live here, we're not going to put our life on hold, just like we don't expect our older ones, or even our youngest one that, is not here, to put their life on hold just to wait for us, because that's not fair to the kids,
yeah,
to miss out on things just because we need to align. Now, granted, like you said, it does suck. It does. It is frustrating. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, we just keep trying. So,
Yeah,
I mean, that's all we can do.
yeah. And that's all you can do, even with the kids that are here. Sometimes, because
Yeah.
sometimes they lock themselves in the room and play games, and
That's teenagers. So,
yeah,
like,
and
yeah,
so
you're
like you gotta,
you have a hard time because we went from like having them not so little, but somewhat still grade school little.
you
Because
know,
again, we were splitting. You would split half and half with their mom, but um, they're at that age now. It's like I want to come in and get on my phone, or I want to talk to my friends, or my
yeah,
boyfriend, or my girlfriend, or who
yeah.
knows what. And
And I work like on the times that they're not in school, and I come in and I'm like, "Hey, I want to hang out," and they're like, "Hey, Dad, how you doing? Good seeing you.
yeah,
I'm gonna go play my game, or I'm
right,
gonna go talk to my boyfriend." I'm like,
right.
"Well,
And that's just, I mean, that's even if you were here and worked a first shift job. When you worked first shift, it was that way too. It's like, hope you had a good day. I'm gonna go chill and talk to
yeah,
you later.
pretty much. You're not important anymore, Dad. Nice to see
Well,
you."
you are, but they're at that stage of friends and boyfriends and girlfriends,
Well,
and
yeah, that's how
you
you
know,
feel.
parents kind of get pushed aside there.
Yeah,
But I would say, and the last thing I'm gonna say, and you may say more, but on the blended family, it can be difficult. When we first began, um, our kids were a little bit older. It's not like they started out really young. So, good thing is they've been together. They finally found that niche of like how to get um along, I guess, so to speak. Because sometimes it's not. Sometimes there's a lot of, I don't want to say hate, like love hate, but there's a lot of animosity. There's a lot of just like, I ain't dealing with this person. This ain't my sibling or this ain't my whatever. And
yeah,
I will have to say we've gotten lucky in that aspect because our kids aren't that way. Like, now, granted, if they do something stupid, they'll be like, I ain't claiming you as my brother or sister.
yeah.
But
They'll turn on each other real fast about stuff. That's for
yeah,
sure.
but it's not like,
I mean, not in a bad way. There's be like, oh,
no, they're
it
just
was
like, and they'll
him, it
call
was
each other
her,
out.
it was him, it was her, it was me.
Right. But they'll call each other out and hold each other accountable, but like, you shouldn't have done that, or hey, that was stupid, or.
But I mean, regular brothers and sisters do that too.
Right.
I mean, that's what we
Right.
did whenever my brothers and sisters, brother
I
and
never
sister.
had any. Well, I mean, I have a sister, but didn't know until I was later in life. So.
Yeah, we were quick to do that stuff too. We would,
Right. But yeah, I mean, it's for the most part. I mean, you could probably tell because of our hair colors and stuff's a little different. But I mean, honestly, nobody really knows. Most people assume that we're just mom and dad to all six kids.
uh, yeah, I mean, except for, well, yeah, I mean, only one I think people know that's mine for sure is probably Christian, probably.
Yeah, he looks like he came out you hind end. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they know that one's mine for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Him and Alyssa favor you quite a bit.
You think Alyssa favors me?
Mhm.
I think she acts like
She
me.
got them lips and
She acts like me, that's for sure.
but yeah, yeah, they both do that, believe me.
Yeah, but I mean, oh, so you want to go over this draft real quick because you didn't really watch it for me.
I think I watched the very first pick and that was it.
She was supposed to watch it for me, guys, while I had to work.
I was a little busy with work myself, so
Oh my god! There we go.
I don't even remember who the first one was. Was it JC or something like that?
J.C.
Yeah, there we
Latham.
go. I knew that one.
I got to share my screen. I was gonna go over it real quick
Okay.
because see, I like. This is one of the things that's kind of confusing. Okay, guys. Because see, I'll use football to help me de-stress, right? But then
Mhm.
I have one of the worst football teams in the league that also sets up depression, right? I have the Tennessee Titans, which is very depressing football team to follow. Oh,
You definitely don't watch it for the wins.
that's for sure. So, um, yeah, that is for sure. If you want a team that'll is very bipolar, this is the team for you. Like it's 1 second it'll be an amazing win, the next second they'll lose to the worst team in the league or something like that. They'll beat
Mhm.
they'll beat like they'll beat the Chiefs week and they'll lose to like the worst team in the league the next week. I just was going to go over just because I thought it was It'd be something like a little different, a little fun for a second. So
Mhm.
there's J.C. Latham, and then they got a big tackle, defensive tackle.
Mhm.
Some of these guys I don't even really know. Then a linebacker, a cornerback. Like once we get to like these last guys, I was like, who are these guys? Who are these cats? Who are these cats? A wide receiver, Jaquan. I think that's how you say his name.
I don't know.
Jackson, and then uh, two linebackers for the last round. Look like
Mhm. Hopefully, especially with the trades we made this year, I'm still a little peeved that they got rid of Henry.
yeah,
Uh,
that was my
he
guy.
he was, yeah, he was kind of, I'm not gonna say our savior, but he kind of helped us get along in some of those wins quite a bit there. So
They acted like he couldn't play no more. I mean, that offensive line was pretty terrible last year, and he was still got like.
he still got a lot in there.
I mean, I think he still got like 12 or 1,300 yards with the crappy line. I mean, if you would have got some people that could have blocked for him, I think he would have done quite a bit more. It was
Yeah,
pretty
and he
crazy. I
really
mean,
wanted to stay here in Nashville too. So, but
I think so, but I mean, they also I think at the same time knew that they were wanting to go for a different style of offense too. So
yeah.
like a
Well, you called it though. You messaged about the person that they picked the first. That's why I don't know why you even watched it because they can change coaches and everything, but they still pick the same type of way
well,
every draft. It never
I
fails.
I knew once that one guy went like five or whatever.
Hmm.
I think they wanted him, but like I was like, if that guy goes, they're gonna take this guy
Right.
because this guy is like probably the second best tackle. Probably maybe has a chance to be a better tackle, but the other
Hmm.
guy is more technical or something. Like
Right.
he's probably better right now, but like he may not be better overall later or something, you know. So, but like I said, it's a one of them situations where we love football, but it's we're like uh we watch it for fun,
Pretty
and
much.
then we know our expectations by now, so we know that it's going to be a sad situation by the end of the year. We're pretty much going to be crying ourselves to sleep at night because
You do.
yeah. Well, I've slowed down on being so serious about it because
Well, yeah, a little bit, but yeah, you take it too serious. Like, not trying to be mean, not trying to bash the Titans. They are our team, but you definitely can't be a Titans fan and take it serious.
I know I used to get so mad at the referees because I knew they were paid off or something. I'd be like, these fools. I know, I know y'all don't have to sit there and cheat us out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I know there's a script or something. I used to be able to call the plays. I was like, why are y'all doing this? But it was all good fun.
Mm-hmm.
But either or, that was today's show, I guess. If you guys have anything you want us to cover or write about, any questions you have or anything like that, uh,
Mm-hmm.
I think one of our next shows should be something like about the references or something maybe. Maybe-
Resources.
Yeah, those two. Those are probably a good idea. Maybe not the next one, but whenever we can get the
Right.
resource information together.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I've got it together. I'll just try to create a slideshow, but yeah.
C-
So
c-
I'm gonna try to do these as often as I can. Trying to get my schedule aligned to do this, like we just said, going back to the blended family and all that.
Right, right,
There's going to be times that my schedule's not going to align. Like for instance, I may have to run to the office or to meet a client or patient of the mornings, and he may have to shoot by himself. But we'll try to get those resources of what I know that is kind of statewide um, out there. But again, each county's a little different. So
And do you will you have one that's more uh like a national type of
yeah, there's a few that's kind of like the countrywide, I guess, United
mm,
States wide. There's a few like that. Pretty much all the resources that I'm given, you're gonna be able to find in other states. They just may be named a little different. Um, and again, if you can find local resources, That's a lot better. Not saying that the national ones or the state ones aren't good, but typically they're hit a lot harder.
Okay.
Local ones are too, to a degree, but the national ones typically have more, so they give more out. But we'll get into all that, when we decide to cover all that.
Okay. I just wondered. I didn't know if that was
Hmm.
something you would be able to do for the like everybody and not just
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
state.
I've been working on building my resource list for not only my clients, but for anybody that really needs them. To be honest.
Okay, cool. Well, we appreciate you guys watching this far into the episode. If you guys would please like, share, and sub, and like I said, send us a comment if you would. That really helps us out with the
Hmm.
YouTube algorithm and all that other fancy stuff. If you would, we appreciate you guys, and peace.